What about, talk about Lake Espy a little bit, and what it meant to Granddad Major and Dee Dee, but especially Granddad Major, and how even Lake Espy came into being. Was there something out there, was this land in the family when John Jolly was living, or?
I think that Daddy bought that Knowles farm. It was Knowles property. And I believe that Daddy bought that, and I assumed that he had that pond built. Now, I'm assuming that because Don's had one built on his farm. You don't just have ponds, you can have creeks, but I don't think you just have natural ponds.
That's true.
So, Daddy loved to go out there and fish. He loved for us to fish with him. He liked to be on the boat. He loved for us to paddle the boat, help him paddle the boat. We used to swim in Lake Espy, Alan.
Is that right?
And they said that 5 water moccasins were following me into the shore. And I had
heard that before.
Okay. And we were out there swimming, and we came back in. I'm scared to death of snakes, and you know, I wasn't in the water turning around counting. That was the story that I was told.
Well, you don't know for sure. You didn't even see one, but
I was swimming in, and they said there were 5 water moccasins that were following. So I assumed that it was so, but I would not recommend anybody swimming. I mean, I don't get in water that you can't see straight through. I just don't. I don't want anything to nibble on my legs.
Nothing too murky. But how was it used in the early days? And describe the old Lake. I know it from 1980.
It was concrete block, encircled by it wasn't a circle. It was a square, but it was a concrete block fence.
Or like a wall around it.
Like a wall. Okay. And one of the tales about it is when I was giving Mila driving lessons, and she started to turn, which was the right thing to do. And I said, "Now put on the brake." We were slowing down, and we were going to be getting close to the wall, and she gunned the gas and drove that car up over that 5-foot-high concrete wall. That messed that up. But going on, the ones that were on the inside were getting ready for some kind of party. We used to have parties out there.
Was it as big as the one now? Probably not, right?
No. Okay. It was real
modest, or
rustic.
Okay, rustic.
Rustic, but it was not wood. It was concrete block, and it was just the vans used to go out there. We used to go out there every Thanksgiving. We would have the peanut bowl, which we didn't have that when y'all were growing up, but when we were growing up, good football teams played in the peanut bowl. The ones that weren't quite good enough to go to the
state playoff.
The peanut bowl was in Dothan. The Lions bowl was in Headland. Okay. And the peanut bowl was the Cream de la Cream were playing down there, and it was on Thanksgiving night. And the Lions bowl was the night before it, and that was the next 2 best teams. And Headland played in it sometimes, but not every time. But anyway, we would have a crowd of folks out at the old concrete block place, and we would go home and we would get dressed up in Sunday clothes and high heel shoes to go to the peanut bowl. It was that big of a deal. And a tale about the old Espy cabin was that Aunt Grace went in to sit down on the commode. Now, it did have a separate bathroom. It didn't have a bedroom. It had the kitchen and the counter, and it had the bathroom and then the open area. And she went in to sit down on the commode, and there was a snake coiled up in the commode.
A moccasin, I take it.
I don't know what it was.
Who knows?
I don't know what it was, but it was a snake, and it was alive, and I don't know how they got rid of it, but I know that everybody was careful when they went to the bathroom from there on out. And Daddy just had a dream when he had all of you 9 grandchildren that he needed to have a bigger place, and he loved his limousine cabin, so he wanted to put them out there at Lake Espy so that he could see them, and he wanted to build a bigger, nicer facility that would accommodate our group. And so they started working on it. Bob Frank Williams and Mother drew the plans for it. And some of his crew went out there and built it. that worked for him somewhere else. So he interchanged. If they weren't doing business at the fertilizer plant, they could come, they could come work somewhere else.
And he got his supplies from
E&W. So
he got a pretty good deal on the prime cost.
So he was a partner out there. But the Christmas of 1979 was the only time that he got to go in out there, and all the doors were not even hung. But they were not quite finished with it. But we took Christmas out there. And all of y'all, and all of us, and all of Milo's, we went out there and we had Christmas. We had Christmas and used that cabin, christened that cabin. And we were so glad. I mean, he had the beautiful cattle that were out there, and he loved to ride and to see the
cows.
So
his dream was really fulfilled. I mean, he got to see it. He could visualize it. It wasn't like it was just.
Yeah, he got to see it, and y'all out there, and probably every one of you. You weren't that old. Probably every one of you would rather have stayed at home and played with your Christmas stuff,
Mm-hmm.
But we went out there. We carried dinner. We did the deal out there. Well, I've got her recipe for the dressing, but I also have, and I love to do it. I love to be able to, and I very much missed it this past Thanksgiving. But I'm on one of the hens now. I'm making of egg bread. We go to Aunt Grace's. Usually we've got three hens that have been boiled. We've got 3 pans of egg bread, and we sit there and we break it up and all of the stuff that goes in it. Make the dressing for all of the Vann Thanksgiving to feed 75 people, and put it in the freezer. Now Jimbo is the taster, and then he wraps it with freezer wrap paper, special kind of paper. Pharmacy wrap is what he calls it.
That's funny.
But anyway, we like doing that, and we do it the week before Thanksgiving, and then Aunt Grace pulls all those pans out because she's got Wayne and crew coming into her house. She pulls them out at midnight so they'll be thawed out.
That's interesting.
And it's very interesting, and just the conversation that goes on around it is wonderful. I love to be up there. It makes me just feel like Mother's sitting there with us. It's been taking place at our 94-year-old aunt's house.
That's yes.
Yeah. And last year, now Linda Brandon came. See, I couldn't do anything, and I was still wanting to come, but anyway, I knew that I couldn't do anything. Sally Ezel, I think, maybe came to help, trying to get some of the young. Susan Bryan drove down from Birmingham to help. She usually makes about 7 pecan pies.
Does she?
Comes.
Wow.
Any of us that are related to, it's a Vann get together, but to have 75 or 85 people come out there, and yes, some of them are children.
Well, you better